change order number 1. Harrison Associates Water Street Phase 2 Part A water sewer change order number 3, costs associated with the contaminated soil removal. Harrison Associates Water Street Phase 4 Part B, estimate and recommendation to go to tender, June 28th. And Harrison Associates Water Street Phase 2 Part B, updated estimate July 7th.
Moved by Councillor Dahl, seconded by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded? Motion passed. And move on to the adoption of the minutes of the regular council meeting of June 28, 2023. Moved by Councillor Noel, seconded by Deputy Mayor Slade. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded? Motion passed. Business arising from the minutes. Okay, no business arising there. We'll move on to number 5, proclamations, presentations, delegations. There are none. Number 6, permits and correspondence. Councillor Dial.
If everybody could take a look in their Dropbox, I know that there's one conflict there. If you just want to make sure no one else has one, make a motion to approve permit listing 10287 to 10303, omitting 10301.
Moved by Councillor Dial, seconded by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded? Motion passed. And who's in conflict?
Councillor Slade has a nephew. Make a motion.
His nephews? No, nephews are not included.
Councillor
Deputy Mayor, hold on now.
Unless you, well, the way the legislation is now, unless he feels that, I mean, it's not included as a relative, but unless the, oh, this is not, sorry. Just, yeah, I mean, again, it's up to the deputy mayor. It's not listed as, like nephew is not included as a relative, but the legislation does indicate that if you feel that, you know, you would be biased in that situation, I guess you do have the right to, indicate that you'd rather not in this situation. So it's, it's up to you.
Oh, you want to ask a question if you want to, I guess?
Yes.
No, I don't feel that I'd be biased, but
His red light's on.
you probably got me muted.
Actually, you may be right.
No, Mr. Town Administrator, I don't feel that I'd be biased, but considering what's after taking place over the last little while, I would place myself in that position and leave my chair.
Okay, well, you can also ask the question.
I think you should, because if he's here, you should vote, right?
Right.
I'd be afraid of that.
So council can, if you want to ask the question to council.
Well, I'll ask the question.
Right.
I'll make a motion that Councillor Slade is not in conflict on the permit for his nephew.
Moved by Councillor Dahl, second by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded? Councillor
Just
Noel.
for public record, it's for a deck, to replace a deck. So repair a deck, not replace.
Right, and
So
it's in compliance with the regulations, so ultimately it would have to be approved. It's not something that is against our regulations.
So you're okay with that, Deputy Mayor Slade?
Yeah, yes,
right.
Mr. Mayor.
I can do a second one
Another
just
one,
for that.
yes.
It's okay. Make a motion to approve permit listing 10301.
Moved by Councillor Dahl, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion passed.
Just as a side note, year to date, we have 12 new houses going up in the town of Carbonear, which is significant, big increase over the last number of years, with an estimated development of year to date of $5,374,827.50. And in addition to that, we have two new businesses on the that were approved tonight, which would increase new businesses for year-to-date to 4.
Move on to 6.2, correspondence requiring council's decision. And 6.3, action taken, correspondence received and action taken. Is there a motion on that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for 6.2.
Point 2, which one was that? There, hold on.
That's the one, too, that we've had several additions. So if you refer to, in your Dropbox, all those drafts are included there, just to
Under
help.
Jew.
6.28?
Yeah.
So 6.2A is for Adelaide Street, Phase 2. So I believe there are 3 conflicts
Phase 2.
on that.
Yeah.
So that would be Councillor O'Grady, Councillor Seymour, and Councillor Snow. So you'd all have to move to the gallery.
And that's for raising relatives on the street, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're family members. Okay, so you going to take care of that there on your Public Works?
Whereas the consultant has recommended to call for tenders for construction services for the Adelaide Street Water, Sewer, and Storm Street upgrades, Phase 2, project number 17-GI-23-00002. And whereas the project sponsors have approved the tender call, be it resolved to issue tender call for the construction services. And I so move, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Doyle. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed. You guys come back now.
Next edition is,
We can do that now?
yeah,
Okay.
because they're all been added.
Okay. All right, 6.2B, someone wants to look after that? That's the Route 66 diner.
Resolved to provide approval to K&P Cafe, Route 66 Diner and Pub to make application to the Newfoundland and Labrador Liquor Corporation to extend the licensed premises for July 28th and 30th, and be it further resolved to provide approval to install a temporary tent at the old post office park to provide the extension to the licensed premises from July 28th to the 30th.
I second that, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Deputy Mayor Slade. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Next.
6.2D.
6.2C,
There's a conflict on that one too, because
Oh.
that relates to Adelaide Street Phase 1. So there's just one councillor, I believe, who you have in the past.
whereas the consultant has submitted a change order for material testing fees for the Adelaide Street Water, Sewer, and Street upgrading, Phase 1, 17-MYCW-22-00030, and whereas the change order has been reviewed and is recommended for approval, be it resolved to approve change order number 1, adding $8,050, including HST, to the prime consultant agreement. I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion passed. 6.2D.
Okay, 6.2D, whereas the consultant has submitted a change order for addition of cost associated with contaminated soil removal, disposal, and remediation for the Water Street Phase 2, project number 17-GI-21-00075, and whereas the change order has been reviewed and is recommended for approval, be it resolved to approve change order number 3, adding $201,621.62, including HST, to the contractor, Black Diamond Construction Limited. And I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Doyle. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
6.2E, and if.
If.
Whereas the consultant has recommended to call for tenders for construction services for the Water Street Phase 2, Part B, project number 218514, be resolved to issue a tender call for construction services for Part B. And I so move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, second by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion passed. All right, let's move on to 6.3, correspondence received and action taken. Okay, move on to number 7, committee reports, administration and finance. Councillor O'Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Administration Finance Committee met on July 12th. Just a few things to update you on. The Line Road Fire Protection, it appears we've reached an agreement on that, so we're just waiting for signatures on the agreement, so that's good to have that over with. We had some discussions about the fire prevention regulations. They're still waiting on some things back from the Fire Commissioner's office. And we also had some discussion about, I guess, the terms of reference we're doing for some of the Special Citizen Committee boards. So that's still going back to that board, and we'll have some more discussion on that, I guess, as time goes on. We tendered for sale the piece of property at 162 Water Street, but we didn't get any bidders, so the committee is recommending we list the property now with the Realtor, so we'll be doing that, I guess, over the next while. The only other thing I guess we noticed was the flag. We have a flag protocol policy, so now that we've got this new flag on the pergola park, it's quite high, and so most flag policies say if you have the flag pole that's that much higher, you have to have a larger flag. So we're going to have to change the protocol to include the size of the flag. If somebody wants to fly the flag, we're going to recommend they buy the bigger size, right? So you can see it. And we also had some discussion about fireworks, so that's going to be, I guess, covered off in those fire prevention regulations as well, right? So, other than that, that's all I had. If anybody has any questions.
Any questions for Councillor O'Grady?
Not reference there in the minutes, but as the town clerk pointed out, if we're going to go ahead and list that with the Realtor, it'd probably be a good time to get a motion to do so if Councillor O'Grady wants to do that, so we can proceed.
For which one?
The property down on Water.
Well, yes,
okay,
so what we typically, I got
Yeah,
to
okay.
double check the RFP, so we may actually have to do a, get quotes
Yeah.
or whatever, but at least we can start the process, get a motion to start the process for
Okay.
to do the listing.
Yeah. Okay, so I resolved to move that we tender the property 162 Water Street with, not tender, we listed with the Realtor. We got a bid already.
Realtor.
That was fast. So I moved that we list the 162 Water Street for sale with a Realtor company, so.
Okay, and can we get a second for that? Second by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Do you need the amount in there, what we're gonna list? We don't need that in the,
No.
Okay. yeah, we've worked out an amount there as well.
I think this has come up before, but
Well, it was-
we are required to obtain fair market value, so there has been an appraisal obtained, so I guess that's what we'd have to look at.
Okay, any questions for Councillor O'Grady? Thank you. We'll move on to development. Councillor Doyle.
The Development Committee met on July 13th. We had one application that had to go through us, and I'll make a motion regarding that forthcoming. It was a relatively short meeting for development. You can read down through the minutes. There was a lot of ongoing issues with, again, kind of the same stuff that ties up a lot of meetings and ties up, it's the same properties often. People need reminders that before they make any changes to their properties, build patios, fences, decks, enclosures, etc., they need to apply for permits in order to do that. We had the EDTO reported on some plans for the 75th anniversary with some events that'll happen on Carbonear Days weekend and into the fall. And the YOLO that we approved a couple of meetings back about highlighting the town for people who work from home and that kind of stuff. They were here last week to do some research for the website, so that was good. We also received, I think all members of council got a copy of the What We Heard from the development plan review. So I don't know if you've all had an opportunity to review that. That'll be on the meeting, the next development committee meeting, because we had only gotten it the day before and it was quite lengthy, and I don't think anybody at the committee meeting had had an opportunity to read it at that point, just to see what residents had heard. Resolution number 1. Resolve to approve the following applications in accordance with applications submitted, the Town of Carbonear Municipal Plan and Development Regulations and other conditions as specified, to replace a deck at 39A Water Street per Section 10, discretionary powers of council.
Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
And number 2, resolve to refuse the following application to construct an accessory building at 5 Coral Heights since the proposed development exceeds the maximum lot coverage in the RMD zone.
And can we get a seconder for that? Seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion?
Just to add to that, I think the Director of Operations can confirm, but I think the homeowner found an alternative plan for what they wanted to do there, but where they applied for the permit, it still has to either be approved or declined.
All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed. Councillor Noel.
And that was it for us.
Any questions for Councillor Doyle? Thank you. Move on, number 8, Director of Recreation report, sir.
Number 6 in your drop box there. Okay, let's try that again. So at number 6 there in your drop box, just a quick report as to how things have been going this summer. As you know, we were doing some work at the community garden with all the beds. They've all been completed. We're waiting on some soil, but I think some gardeners have already started, so it's good to see that that's all upgraded and it's looking nice over there. With regards to our scoreboard installation, I was talking to the contractor today, and they're hoping to be here tomorrow and Thursday to get those concrete bases installed. Once those are poured, it's 3 weeks from that point, then the other company can come out and put up the uprights and install the clocks themselves. So hopefully that'll be done by, I'm banking that it'll be ready for our U17 provincials. I'm not promising, but that's what we're pushing for, so that when the U17 provincials comes for the August tournament, they'll be ready to be used. I also have the contractor response for the ball field lights. They've been ordered. I think they were ordered last week. There was a turnaround time of 2 weeks, so hopefully we'll get those soon too to have that installed. With regards to pool revenue, as you can see there, as of 2023, we're about $10,000 ahead at this point from last year. Lesson registration, up to this point we had 600 registrants. I didn't have the 2023 numbers in there because it looks a little bit of a discrepancy, so I've been going back and forth. It looks like we're about a little over 1,100 people registered, but it doesn't really compute to what we're supposed to be with regards to revenue. So I think what has happened is some people have registered and withdrew, but it hasn't been removed from the system, so I got to go back and just tidy it up a little bit and get an accurate number by the end of the summer. But our pool visitations are pretty much, we're slightly ahead. I think a lot of our public swims are doing better. Our rentals are being booked, but when I compared them, like numbers of people that are attending the rentals are smaller, so that's why the numbers are kind of, we are getting the same amount of rentals. It's just that the people attending the rentals are a little lower than what may have happened in years past. With regards to programs and grants, our 3-on-3 street basketball tournament is pretty much ready to go out for registration. I'm still working on the online stuff so that when it goes up, it's all complete. I'm hoping to get that out by next week. I did do a I guess based on the number of courts we were planning to have and the timelines, we can accept up to possibly 100 teams. So I'm not expecting that many for the first year, but if it does, we can accommodate it.
Where are you going to hold it? Where is that going to be held?
So that's
to?
going to be held in on the recreation complex. So we're going to use our 2 permanent nets that are there. We're also going to get some nets to put on our tennis courts and ball hockey rinks, and the school has allowed us to use part of the parking lot. So we're going to have hopefully 10 courts.
Yes.
And that'll run then from Saturday and Sunday. And like I said, hopefully we'll be able to attract, I don't think we'll get the 100 teams, but we can accommodate that. So I'm anticipating anywhere between 20 and 40 for the first year, which would be a good start, and hopefully grow from there. So we're looking forward to it. I do have, I've been talking to a few people in the community that are going to come on board to help with the event during that time. So we're hoping that it'll be a stay for our community and keep going into the future, become an annual event. Summer program is up and running, and the date's been doing very well. They're actually, all the children are pretty excited this week because they're getting their first out-of-town field trip since before COVID. So they're all tickle pink that they're going into the city. They're going to take in do some laser tag frontline action. So they're very excited for that. Finally, the Carbonear Day planning is well underway. Special Events Committee is working really hard to get that schedule out to everybody. I know we're waiting on some deadlines for this week for businesses and stuff to get anything that they may be offering into us. As I said, their full schedule event should be out by the end of next week. So we do have Frontline Action coming back to do their bouncy castle stuff and things. So we also have Earl's Riding Horses and other activities planned for a family day. The World Cup of Tiddly registration is now open, and we're looking forward to another great day of competition. Also this year, we're adding a friendly family mixed softball tournament. So that's a new event that we're hoping will attract some teams and have a day of fun on the ball fields. And like I said, we're looking forward to that addition, hopefully continue on into the future as well. That's it for my reports. If there's anything that you need, you can always follow up with me later or ask any.
Any questions for the director of
Yeah,
recreation?
that 3-on-3 basketball, is that, what age group is that? Is that?
So that age group is going to, we got 6 age groups, so we're doing grades 4, 5, and 6 individually. Then we've combined grades 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 6, I call it male, but obviously females can play with those teams.
Oh.
But we are going to offer also 3 female divisions, so we're going to combine those groups, so it'll be all females for grades 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then 10, 11, 12. So.
I won't be playing. I won't be playing Tiddly.
Okay, thank
No,
you.
and just another point on that, though, just occurred to me that I don't know if there's any we can do proactively, with the parking situation, because every time we have large groups in there, we end up with issues with people parking on the north side of the road, and I guess we don't want to be taking on anybody, but anyway, you can put some extra signs up.
Yeah,
or
some consideration has been given.
barricades or something, yeah.
And I've been considering that, so that's going to be part of when I get my group together now, when we get closer to the event, to kind of make sure we got that ironed out, so when we send out the advertisement of everything, it'll tell people where they can park.
Yeah.
Depending on how many teams, we might have to make some accommodations, or if we get to the 100 teams, we may have to make some other accommodations with some other parking areas around, and kind of like what they do for Light the Lamp, find some parking areas and they kind of bust them in. But I don't think we're going to get there this year, but in the future there'll definitely have to be some, if it grows, some things we'll have to look at.
Okay, thank you, sir. Let's move on now to the Director of Operations and Public Works, Mr. Farrell.
We had budgeted for 2 new traffic radars. Those were ordered there a few months ago, and they arrived yesterday, so they're going to be installed this week. They're going to be pretty inconspicuous. We're going to make an offer, and hopefully an accepted offer, for a new MEO this week, and maybe that'll look after traffic, the parking issues. Under capital projects, Water Street Phase 3, the kickoff meeting with the consultant is scheduled for this week on the 20th. Valley Road Phase 4, we had the kickoff meeting with the contractor, and they're hoping to start on the 24th, which is next week. Adelaide Phase 2, we approved a tender call tonight. That will close on the 27th of July. And I think that's everything I had for my report. If there's any questions, feel free.
Any questions for Mr. Farrell? Thank you. All right, let's move on to finances. Operating invoices over $2,000. Councillor O'Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The operating invoices are listed there in your Dropbox. So resolve to approve operating invoices over $2,000 in the amount of $109,831.58.
Moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Capital invoices. This one's a little more complicated because we do have a bunch of people with conflicts. So the first one is Adelaide Street,
Phase 1.
Phase 1. So
Who's that?
I think that's just
Councillor
Councillor Snow.
No.
So resolve to approve water sewer storm upgrades Adelaide Street Phase 1, PN-21-134, MA17-MYCW-220030. Harrison Associates invoice number 7042 for the amount of $7,779.75. Harrison Associates invoice 7046 in the amount of $20,240. Cougar Engineering and Construction Limited, claim number 2, $455,263.79.
Moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Doyle. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed.
So, the second one is Water Street Phase 2. So resolved that the Town of Carbonear approve for payment the following capital project invoices totaling $240,244.64. So that's for water, sewer, and street upgrading. Water Street Phase 2, PN 20-101, MA 17-GI-21-000075. Harrison Associates invoice number 7047 in the amount of $22,716.81. Black Diamond Construction Limited claim number 3, $217,507.83.
Moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Seymour. Discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion passed.
And the third one, we have 3 people, including myself. That's for Adelaide Street Phase 2. My brother
So-
lives there.
Councillor O'Grady, Councillor Seymour, Councillor Snow, they all have relatives on that street.
Resolve that the Town of
Go
Carbonear
ahead.
resolve that the Town of Carbonear approve for payment the following capital project invoice as presented to council. Adelaide Street Phase 2, Meridian Engineering Incorporated, invoice number CC 107281 at an amount of $9,490.38.
Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Deputy Mayor Slade. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed. Come on back, boys.
And that's it.
Okay. Regulations for adoption done. Notice of motion none. New business. No new business. Oh. I'd like to thank Deputy Mayor Slade for chairing the meeting at the last council meeting. No problem. On Sunday, I attended the opening ceremonies of Camp Delight into Camp McCarty. They have about 84 campers in there, or not campers, not vehicles, but people camping. And I think the fire department is going to take part in helping with the supper tonight, I believe, as well. And we got to give a shout out to the designer of the 75th sign over on Powell Drive. I think it was Councillor Carpenter Steve Barrett. He did a really fantastic job. People are really impressed with it, and now they know what it is, so that's good. And other than that, I think that was it. Our next meeting is August 15th, I think. Yeah. And moved by Deputy Mayor Slade, seconded by Councillor Noah. Meeting adjourned. Any else to do?